Right, so today we're going to do an oil and filter change on the Astra. There's a video of me already doing this, so you can go back and look at that. I'm also going to drain the gearbox. I'm going to drain the gearbox and refill it because this car leaks gearbox oil out the drive shaft, and we've put 2 oil seals in it and it still leaks. So every now and again I just drain it down, fill it back up, add in what's necessary. I've also got a cabin filter for it, a New Holland filter, so we'll get that done. But let's say the basics of this is you can go back to there, it's on the boat with the air filter, the oil filter, which is here. There is a wee Allen key on that. We can take the centre out the cap, and that will drain the oil out of the oil filter housing. And the oil level, the drain plug is on the back there, and it's a 15mm. There is a spline on the back of it, but somebody's chewed it up on this one. But it is a 15mm, so we'll get this drained and filled up, and we'll take it through there. But as I say, there is a video. I've got a video doing an oil change on this previously, so you can look back at that one in a bit more depth. What I will say is, I do have a jack with the motor's actually up on the pavement. Hope it'll get fine. Right at the back. Where are we? There we're there. When you take this plug out, the oil's going to go, so make sure you've got your bucket angled further back, because it does just shoot out and you don't want it over the pavement or the road, as you will see here. If I can get that, I think of it. See it? See how far back it goes. Right, I'll get the filter out and stuff. Oh, God of me. Right, so there's your sump plug. Let's get a bit of light on that. Sump plug, see spline on it, but that's a 15. That's a 15, so I think we can safely say that that's empty. So let's put the plug back in. Right, get the plug back in there. And then what we'll also do is we'll put, wherever I've put it, the wee plug back in the oil filter housing, because that's empty as well. Okay, and then what we'll do is we'll slide that out the road a wee second, and then we'll get the 15mm on here, and we'll get that nicked back up again. I should have bought a new one of them, to be fair. But let's do it that way, let's be easier on it. Let's go. Don't make that too tight. And then we'll get the oil filter out. There's a new oil filter, and it's the old one, and that is a 24mm socket on that. So we'll get that put back in. Somebody's strimming in the background. I'll get this back in here. Let's get this back in here. Let's get that back in. There we go. Didn't want to go back in there. Is that a 24? Yes, that is a 24. Height. Hiya! You want that mega tight. It doesn't need to be mega tight. Just a wee. Alright. Cloth. Get that wipe. Engine oil all over everything. I'm going to clean all that as well. Right, get it filled back up. I think this takes near enough to fill 5 litres to fill this motor up. So we've got Shell Helix 530, Professional AG, and it's Dexos 2. Just there, where my thumb is. Dexos 2, so that's the oil for it. We'll get that filled up and then we'll get onto the gearbox oil check, and then we'll get this cabin filter fitted, and I don't know where it goes. Right, okay, oil's filled up. I've put about 4 litres back in it, but I'll start it up. That way it can run round the filter and stuff, and then we need to deal with this. Change oil soon. Oh. Change engine oil soon. So let's get a wee start up. Let the oil get rid of it. Right, and then what we'll do is we'll do this. Bonnet open, check tyre pressure, we'll blow that up in a minute. Change engine oil soon. So if you press the menu button, yours might be slightly different, but press the menu button. Remaining oil life 0%, reset. Press and hold the button. Are you sure that you want to reset? Yes. 100%. There we go. That will save it going ding 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 every 5 minutes. Remaining oil life 100%. Bonnet open, check tyre pressure. 100%. I actually had an engine management light come on last week, and when I scanned it in the work it said it was something to do with the EGR valve. Scary stuff. But I reset the light and it's no came back on, so hopefully it doesn't come back on. Hopefully it's just had a wee hiccup to itself. So the next thing we want to do is we want to drain this gearbox oil. So I've taken that cover off. That cover's held on with a whole pile of 7mm. I don't get why they need to be that length. Why do they need to be that length? They're only going in there. They don't need to be that length. So I think, if memory serves me right, I don't know if you can see that there, the light out here isn't very good today. I'm going to thingy that. That's the drain plug there for it. I can't remember, is it a big torque? I think it's a big Allen key thing, or a spline. But I'll figure that out in a wee minute. I think that's an Allen key. I'll figure it out in a minute and I shall get back to you. Right. That's the gearbox oil draining it. So that is that plug there. Oh, I really am getting too old for this. It's because I'm lying in a divot. Hold on a minute. So there's the drain plug for the gearbox. And it's a number 10 Allen key. So get that put back in, and then we shall fill this gearbox back up. See how much it's lost. I think it takes, I'm not sure how many litres this takes to fill this gearbox up. Neither I am. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry about wobbling you about like this. Sometimes the difficult things are the ones that you're lying underneath. And unfortunately, I don't have a ramp. That's a bit gritty feeling, isn't it? Right, where the hell have I put it now? Trying to do things one-handed. It's quite a stiffy thing, this. I'm not going to go any tighter than that. I think that's tight enough. I'm going to pause you a wee second until I clamber out. The last thing you want is to hear me grumbling and creaking and groaning. good news is there was actually some gearbox oil still in it, quite a lot actually, which I'm surprised about, so it's obviously no leaking that bad. Aye, so I'll get that filled back up. Right, okay, so I believe that we need to put 2 litres of gearbox oil in this, but I usually put a bit more, and oh no, what have I done, mate? There it's there. That's the fill plug, which is an absolute nightmare to get into because it's away down there. It's away down there. And the easiest thing I've found to fill it up with is an old horn off of a set of air horns, because you can put that in there. You need a big long one. Ideally you want Dukes of Hazzard air horns. Look at that. So let's get the first litre in. Okay. This is actually the oil that I drained out of it last year, but because it's been lying in the bottle, it will be relatively clean, because if there's any sediment in it, it will be in the bottom. And what I'll do is, once I've emptied these two, see all the sediment in the bottom, and then what I'll do is I'll put that in there, and then that will tell me how much is actually in it or has been in it. Because I think I actually put 3 litres in it the last time, because I was fed up with dribbling out the other place. Whoop. Right, so I went a wee bit too quick there. Too quick. Right, so that's 2 litres. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that into the bottles to see how much is actually left in that. So I've obviously emptied the bottles into the motor, and then whatever was in the bucket I then put back into the bottles, and we've pretty much, there was 2.5 litres in the bottles, which I've put in there, and what was in that was 2.5 litres, so I've basically emptied out 2.5 litres and I've put in 2.5 litres. So I'm going to get all that screwed back together, and then we'll go and fight with this cabin filter. We'll do the easy bit. Right, so I've given that a wee clean up, put some engine degreaser on it, get it a wee tidy up. God, that's dead grainy looking, isn't it? Right, so we'll get this thing put back up, right, and then cabin filter after that. So that all screwed back up. That thing actually hangs down, and the reason it hangs down is because it's melted with the gearbox oil dripping on it. Anyway, right, back up to the land of the living. Actually, the second thoughts, I'll do the cabin filter next time. I'm fed up, I'm tired. And I've got something in my eye. So next video we'll do the cabin filter, and I'll see how much of a faff that is. Quinton Hazel. Bye. Doggies.